Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to today's Shotsuki monthly memorial service of December. My name is Howard Shintani, and I'll be your chairperson for today. Reverend Fujimoto will read the names of those who have passed away in the month of December. Those observing the month monthly memorial for loved ones, please come forward and offer incense.
Good morning. Welcome to our Shotsuki service for this month. I'll read the Shotsuki names, and please come up and offer incense during the reading of the names. Ago, infant Aiko. Akashi, infant Tetsu. Asada, Masae. Cohen, Florence. Di Stefano, Carl. Di Stefano, Cyril. Enomoto, Kyuzo. Fujishima, Soichi. Fujiwara, infant Jiro. Fujiwara, infant Yoshinari. Goto, Rokuzo. Hamasaki, Seiichiro. Haraguchi, Ikuhei. Haramaki, Mite. Hasegawa, Kikumatsu. Hashimoto, George. Imazumi, Shozo. Imose, Tome. Isoda, Kohei. Iwahashi, James. Iwataki, Joe. Iwataki, Kosaku. Kataoka, Masajiro. Kato, infant Masaru. Kihara, infant Fuyoka. Kobu, infant Sennichi. Kuge, Aiko. Maruyama, Fujiko. Marubayashi, Unju. Matsumoto, Fusa. Matsuoka, Bunji. Matsuura, George. Miyamori, Fujiko. Morino, George. Moriya, Heihachiro. Muramoto, Roy. Nakagawa, Tetsuya. Nakagawara, Katsuzo. Nakamura, Matsushiro. Nakano, Hiroko. Nakano, Yukuse. Nakao, Chuichi. Nakao, Mikino. Nakashima, Sahi. Nakaso, William Saburo. Nakayama, Yoneko. Negi, Jotaro. Nishi, Momoyo. Nomura, Haruka. Ogata, Sute. Oye, Tayo. Ota, Gary, Hiromichi. Rorbar, Umeko. Sakai, Toki. Sakamoto, Jerry. Shimizu, Tajiro. Shimono, Grace. Shiota, Keiji. Shiraishi, Misao. Shiroishi, infant Mitsuyo. Sueyasu, Jutaro. Sugihara, infant Junko. Sugiyama, Yoshiteru. Sueyasu, Naomi. Sueyasu, Rose. Takada, Koume. Takayama, Ryukichi. Takayanagi, infant Hideo. Tashima, infant Hidehiko. Tashima, Ryukichi. Tashiro, Saga. Tashiro, Yoneo. Terao, Mary. Terao, Reverend Shigeo. Tsuchiya, Arlene Setsuko Honda. Tsujimoto, Masami. Uchiyama Hideo Archie. Umene Kome Ushijima Kunitaro Ushijima Seisuke Ushijima Sugino Ushijima Yasuki Yamagami Eunice Yamagishi Makoto Yamamichi Isamu Yamasaki Takeo Yamashita Jeffrey Yamashita Yoshino Yatabe Mitsue Yonekura Kyuzo Yoshimura Minokichi Yoshiwara Eiichi. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of December. If there are any additions or corrections, please notify the office.
We will now have the Sanbujo on page 24 and 25, followed by the reading of the Hyokumon.
Gyobyakumon. Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki Service for the month of December, members of the temple families have reverently come before Alameda Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Alameda, we reaffirm the three homages. Namo Kiya Butsu, Namo Kiya Ho, Namo Kiya So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Now we will have sutra chanting Amida Kyo on page 103. 103.
Sesshu Amida Kyo Yose Yamo Ichiji Butsu Sai Share Hokugi Yuki Ko Toku Yodai Biku Shu Senni Yakugo Juninku Aise Dayara Kan Shusho Shishiki Shoro Shari Ho Maka Mokenden Maka Kasho Maka Kasenden Maka Kuchira Ihaka Shuri Mandaga Nanda Ananda Nagora Yomo Nadai Minzuru Anurura Yose to Shodai Deshi Yosho Bosa Makasa Monju Shiri Hoshi Aita Bosa Tenda Kadai Bosa Yosho Jin Bosa Yonyo Zeto Yodai Bosa Yushakudai Kan Into Muryo Shoten Dai Shuku Niji Bunko Choro Shari Ho Yuze Sai Ho Kayu Manoku Bunno Use Kai no Wangoku Raku Kono Ubunno Amida Gongyen Sai Seppo Shari Ho Hiro Gako Yoi Kokuraku Koku Shujo Ushuku Tanju Shoraku Kogyo Kokuraku Ushari Ho Kokura Kokudo Shijuranju Shijuramo Shiju Goju Kaise Shiho Shuso Inyo Zeko Hi Kokudo Mazgokuraku Ushari Ho Kokura Kokudo Ushipochi Yaku Dokusoi Juman Kochu Jitai Junni Onsha Fuji Shihen Kaido Kongonduri Yari Gojo Joku Rokaku Yakui Kongonduri Ari Shako Shakushume no Rigo 直々九連下大名者に小式小公大式陽公百式釈公百式白公医療法血者に大国ら国道上重要性空毒将軍ルシャリオヒブ国道上査天楽黄金理事中夜六時理由曼荼羅敬語国州上上位小丹卓位英国上州名家空用他法十万六分福井直時伝統本国本式行業シリ法国ら国道小重量性空毒将軍分子シャリ法非国上修十奇妙雑式市長白国着音符シャリ下領民ら無名市長聖書宗長長夜六時水和平音高音年長高根合力七母大本内小道文行政同法合同宗長音声音に開始年仏年法年祖シャリ法要物理市長実税会法長小小医者が異部国道部三幕主シャリ法合部国道小部三幕道司名家教同実税小宗長改正阿弥陀仏欲量温泉流園芸少佐シャリ法異部国道岐阜水道小法50流法がも水量も本医療百戦十学同時草門税四社開示年上年仏年法年少死神シャリ法大部国道長寿
Please stand for the first Gatha, the white book, Namo Amida Butsu on page 96, and remain standing for the reading of the three treasures on page 8 in the purple book.
book, page 8, Three Treasures, number 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be free from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated.
Now Reverend Fujimoto will share his Dharma message with us.
Okay, good morning again. Good morning. It's always special to have our Shotsuki services and families are able to come and honor people from their families that they have lost, pillars of the family, and to have a moment. I think that I always try to touch upon it, that the Shotsuki service is very special, that we kind of take turns. It's a family service for the rest of us, but for those who have lost someone during the month, it's a Shotsuki service, and we honor them, and we take turns coming up. This month is our turn, next month is someone else's turn, and the others support them as they come up to offer incense and recognize mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever they have lost in their families. And it's just a very supportive and meaningful service in that sense. So I think it's a very wonderful tradition in our Shin Buddhist practice here. So last week, during the Ask Reverend Dennis segment of our service, we were sharing a few of the phrases that we hear often here at the temple, Ondobo, Ondogyo. This means we're all fellow travelers along the way. Neither monk nor lay refers to Shindan Shonin, sent off. He was stripped of his title, as stripped of his Buddhist name and his rank as a priest, and went to live in Echigo. And so he described himself as neither monk nor lay. And it also describes our Sangha, where there's no real distinction between a priest or a lay person. We're all fellow travelers along the path. Okay. Come as you are. We hear this very often. So everyone is welcome to come to be a part of this Sangha. And out of the mud grows a lotus, and we're all coming from this mud, and we have the potentiality to become awakened beings. Okay? But at the same time, we're always rooted in this mud. We have this greed, anger, and ignorance that we don't really get rid of. So because of that, we have both. This mud is still there. We don't leave it. We're rooted in it, but we have this potential to become this pure white flower blossom of enlightenment. Okay. And another term that you might hear on occasion is Sesshu Fusha. Sesshu Fusha. Okay, and this can be translated as to be grasped or embraced and never abandoned. Okay, Sesshu Fusha. This is a term that you find in the Meditation Sutra. Okay, or it's another name for it is the Contemplation of Amida Buddha Sutra. Okay, and again, to be embraced and not is left behind. It also means that anyone who resists or runs away will still be embraced. Okay, and so people who might not be temple goers, they'll still be embraced eventually. People who are come and they might have doubts or misunderstandings of the teachings, they will still be embraced and welcomed and gently shown the teachings and the way and the light. Okay. Another similar saying is the light emanating from Amida's features, Amida Buddha, the light emanating from Amida's features illuminates all the world of the 10 quarters, takes in all beings, and never abandons them. So this is the sense of Sesshu Fusha. Please join me in Gassho, and I'll read this poem, this Watsan. The person burdened with extreme karma should simply say the name. Although I too am within Amida's grasp, passions obstruct my eyes, and I cannot see the light. Nevertheless, great compassion is untiring and illumines me always. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay. So in this Watsan, Shindan is saying, passion obstructs my eyes and I cannot see the light. Okay. So when we read this Watsan, or have this idea of Sesshu Fusha, it could be interpreted as Amida Buddha, sounding like a deity or a god looking down to protect us, showing us the way, protecting us always. And it can be taken in that sense. We are the person burdened with karma, extreme karma, and if we say the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Amida will look after us, right? So it kind of sounds like this relationship of a deity, and it can be taken that way. And maybe sometimes it is taken that way. But I think we can demystify the words. I think we can form a picture in our minds where Amida is not a godlike thing that is supposed to be saving us, okay? That image has a separation of Amida saving and me being saved. Okay, there's a separation. But Buddhism tells us that we create this separation when in actuality all things are one. We make things dual through our own individual perspective and through our karma that we have accumulated through our lives. Okay? So we make things dual when they are actually one. Okay. So I have some examples of this. I think many of us have gotten on an airplane on a cloudy or even a rainy day. We're all bundled up with a raincoat or hat or umbrellas, and then we sit there on the runway. Finally, we're able to, it's our turn to go, and we lift up. Probably Oakland Airport, could be anywhere, right? Lifts up above the clouds, and then you get over the clouds. It looks like a beautiful day, right? What happened? It was just raining down there. What happened? And so the sun is shining above and lighting up the clouds below the plane, right? How many have seen this? Quite a few, almost everybody, right? We've seen this. It's like a whole new world. What happened to the rain? What happened to the clouds? And we're just above it, right? It makes sense, makes perfect sense, but it's just a different perspective, a new perspective, right? In actuality, the sun was always shining, just as usual, but the clouds were blocking the rays and the warmth of the sun, okay? We could only see from below a cloudy or rainy day because the clouds were above us and blocking the sun. So in this analogy, the clouds are from the workings of our minds. We don't notice Amida bringing light upon our lives because we are preoccupied with our own clouds, our own thoughts, goals, desires, calculations, priorities, attachments, connections, and countless combinations of all of these, right? This is how we live our lives. These are the clouds. These are all expressions and iterations of our ego. So if we can get beyond our ego-centered perspective, the sun is always shining. This is Sesshu Fusha. Okay. So, example number 2. This is 2. Two Shotsuki services ago, October 1st, is when Charmin and I got COVID, right? And so after that service, we weren't feeling very well. And one of the symptoms of COVID, some people, not everyone, but you can lose your sense of taste, right? So I didn't have that problem. Everything tasted the same, and then, I felt sick and a little bit different sense of taste, but I didn't lose my taste. But Charmin lost her sense of taste, and she could barely smell, maybe just a little bit of, if you peel mikan tangerine, the oil in the air, but it'd be gone quickly. Small hints that it's still working, but it would disappear. And it's real frustrating for her that she would not be able to taste food, and it's a good thing for me because I got more, right? So she didn't feel like eating, it wasn't fun, it wasn't interesting, and disappointing that you would lose your sense of taste, this COVID taste. And so still, 2 months later, she still has this, right? But also during that time, 2 months, I was wondering about, it seemed like we couldn't hear each other very well. Is there a thing like COVID ears? Couldn't hear each other, so she would complain, I can't hear you. She's in the kitchen, maybe I'm in the living room, finally have a chance to sit down and the TV's on. She asked me a question and I'll answer it. What'd you say? I couldn't hear you, right? And then it's like an old people's home, right? And we don't feel that old, but it sure sounds like it. So we're screaming across the house, I can't hear you. What? I can't hear you. So I have to get up and go to the kitchen. What did you say? And usually it's something nice, right? She's making toast for me or something. So, oh, well, thank you, right? And you feel bad, and our voices are loud, like you talk to your mother who doesn't have her hearing aids on, right? And you're yelling real loud, and it sounds like we're always arguing, and sometimes that's true. But, the voice is loud, and COVID ears. Is there such a thing as COVID ears, right? But it extends, even we're in the car, driver, passenger. What'd you say? What? And so even right next to each other, we have COVID ears and we can't hear each other, right? But usually when we get beyond this barrier, usually we're talking about something that's supportive, something that's nice, something that will benefit the both of us, okay? Third example, I think we've all seen when we have an infant in the home or someone we know, maybe a daughter has a newborn baby, and mother's holding the baby in her lap, and they're sitting comfortably, the baby's playing with something while sitting in the lap, and all of a sudden gets tired and leans back, falls back completely. Not even a thought that it's going to get hurt, knowing perfectly that it's safe in its mother's lap, so it falls back. And the mother knows this too. Both of them are completely comfortable. The mother pats the baby reassuringly, and then after a little while, the baby sits back up and starts playing again. You know, it might happen a few times, right? And we have this, sometimes we have these things that we try with each other. So, okay, stand there, I'll catch you, just lean back. Naturally. And I think this is another example of Sesshu Fusha. There's no calculating mind, no doubts on the part of the baby, okay? And it's a type of faith that is closer to awareness or connection than belief, okay? Both of them are sharing, baby and mother are sharing this Sesshu Fusha awareness. Baby's not saying, oh, I believe in mom and she's there and she's going to catch me. No thoughts whatsoever. They just have this awareness. Okay. And finally, the dragon run. Okay. When I was in college, we had some friends and we'd go out running, usually separately, but we had this common things that we did, and we'd talk about it sometime. And I still remember a good friend of mine said, I think I should be in good enough shape to run 10 miles anytime I want. But yeah, that sounds about right. And so we would be in good enough shape any day, any time of day. We could just change and go out and run for 10 miles. And I could do that. Still, I could do that, right? So anyway, along those times, I started to run regularly, and it would be kind of part of my identity as a runner, right? And every year of the dragon, I'm born on the year of the dragon, okay? So every year of the dragon, I would do this special run where I would run a long run. So sometimes a marathon or longer, right? Sometime during my dragon year, I'd run this marathon. So I would call it the dragon run, because every 12 years would be that occasion. And so I thought next year is a dragon year, right? So I thought I'd do this again, and I'm kind of getting ready, right, for the dragon run. And yeah, little by little, building up my endurance and then my legs and everything. And I go down to the beach to do my runs maybe 4 times a week. Early in the morning, it's like 5 in the morning when I leave. And it's, lately in particular, it's cold and dark. And I don't want to wear sweats because I have to take them off when I'm warmed up, and I'm going to carry them for 7 miles, right? So I'd rather be cold for 1 mile than have to carry something for 7. So I'm the only one out there. I have gloves, but just a t-shirt and shorts. 5 in the morning, out there running. And people are looking at me like, who's that idiot? He's got no clothes on. So I go down to the beach, and I'm running on the beach. And when I go down there, it's kind of like there's 2 minds. Kind of like when we're chanting. One mind is chanting the chant, and another mind is, boy, this is a long one, or gee, I'm getting hungry. So 2 different voices. So when I go out there, these 2 minds, one is my ego calculating mind, and the other is the embraced awareness mind, okay? And I think the calculating mind, I'm counting my strides, I'm thinking of balancing this running and resting, doing my interval training or whatever I'm doing that day, and focused on that, keeping that in mind as I'm doing my run. And then there's also this embraced awareness, sense of mind, and in that mind I can hear the water lapping upon the shore, sometimes gently, sometimes violently, and every time I go out there, depending on the level of the water, sometimes it's like almost from the incense burner to the wall, that much room is left, like one car lane, okay? Sometimes the water is low and it looks like a 5-lane freeway, right? And it changes, the footing changes. Sometimes you're running through the sand and it's really deep, okay? And all these things change. So it's like a different world every time, and you have to pay attention, you have to watch, okay? And so I see the shoreline birds fly off. I see ducks and geese, they're grazing on whatever's there on the ground. Seagulls and crows come down and they're cleaning up, right? They're eating the litter left, picnic things, McDonald's wrappers, they're unwrapping the last piece of hamburger, they're eating that. Sometimes the dead fish washes ashore and the seagulls clean it up so it doesn't look bad or smell bad. Sometimes there's a dead seagull and the crows are eating that. And so all these other things are happening outside of my calculations, right? And I see both of these all the time. So the birds there cleaning up, it's like they're saying, I live here too, right? And moving me away from my self-centered mind. So they're pulling me out of my head and into their world. Sometimes there's pelicans, maybe a group of 12 or 20, and one particular day there was like 100 flying, and another 100, wow, and then another 100, and not sure where they're going, but wow, really impressive. And they are telling me, I live here too. It's not only your world, little man, right? And so they are living there and showing me beyond myself. So through this morning run, I'm pulled through this clutter, calculated clutter of my mind and into this world beyond the self. So I think we each do this. I think Dorothy tells me about going to bird watching, right? And she does this. This happens to her. She might not think of it as Sesshu Fusha. She might not think of it as Buddhist practice, but she appreciates and enjoys going to spend that moment connected beyond herself. Yumi tells me about going to Yosemite. It's an annual, more than annual, kind of like a pilgrimage. But when I go, shouldn't speak for her, but when I go camping, I'm ready. I know I'm going to have that sense of mind, more of a connection than I would have at home. And so I look forward to going out there knowing that this is going to happen. I don't call it or think of it as Sesshu Fusha, but that is what is happening. Okay? People playing golf, Alan or Tom, they go and play golf, they have the same experience. We each have the same experience, and we grow beyond ourselves through those experiences. Okay? And to learn about Sesshu Fusha is to know about this natural pull, this natural seeking that we all go through, that is described in Buddhist words and recognized in Buddhism, that this is a way, part of the awakening process. So to me, this is all Sesshu Fusha, going through this, pulling away from self-centered to an other-centered life. Okay? Sesshu Fusha reminds us to recognize this pull as a natural life process, moving us towards awakened awareness. So Alameda is not a God working behind the scenes. Alameda is the sound of the water lapping on the shore, the geese leading their family from the park to the bay, pulling me all the while, pulling me out of my self-centered head. Okay. Running, fishing, golf, art, music, gardening, hiking, whatever we do to connect to all that is beyond ourselves. This is what is called the call of Alameda. Okay. And this is Sesshu Fusha. Please join me in Gassho. The person burdened with extreme karma should simply say the name. Although I too am within Alemeda's grasp, passions have struck my eyes, and I cannot see the light. Nevertheless, great compassion is untiring and illumines me always. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma message for today. Okay, our next gatha, please stand. It'll be in the white book, Arigato, the first verse, Japanese and English, on page 36. Please be seated. Okay, I'd like to thank you, those who helped with the altar preparation and with the service. I'd like to thank Reverend Fujimoto with the YouTube setup. Thank you, Lenny, for being our organist, as usual. And thank you, Lenny, Dorothy, and Jackie for the flowers. And I'd like to thank everyone who brought refreshments for the monthly memorial service. Is there any newcomers today? Okay, we have some announcements. Next Sunday, 12:10, it'll be Bodhi Day service, followed by our temple general meeting. So if you can make it, please come. Then Sunday, December 17th, be Dharma School and family service. And we have a guest speaker. It'll be Lennon Yamaoka from Palo Alto Buddhist Temple. He's really good. He's a nice guy. And then Sunday, December 24th, will be no service. Okay, New Year's Eve service, Sunday, December 31st, it'll be at 3 o'clock p.m. Is there any other announcements?
About New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
January.
It's January.
I know. But still, you can say.
Okay.
New Year's Day at 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, New Year's Day, we have service at 10 o'clock.
I know officially our ABWA food Dharma has ended as of November 30th, but the site is still open on the Alameda County Food Bank. So if you still want to make a donation, that will be appreciated. And if you've already made your yes, yeah, thank you.
Anybody else?
We're starting to collect our donations for our treasure sale. So we'll be collecting donations the first and second Sundays of December, January, and February from 11 to 2.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for attending today's service. Reverend Fujimoto, do you have anything closing words?
No. I've said enough today. Let me light the incense and please come up and Osho join me in Gassho and we'll close the service. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you. Yeah.
Was she at home? Was she at home?
No, she was very sweet.
I was thinking every time it was all, I can't,
The usual.
open that up. Really excited.
I know, she's not beautiful.
Your dad took care of her.
Please join us. Please join us.
Thank Michelle for bringing.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
Really good. So glad to have been through everything.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
That's
Yeah, Puduichi is our surname. I'm Sadoko, this is Jim.
Oh, nice to meet
Nice
you.
meeting you.
Our cousin in Tokyo, her name is Furuichi. It's just she's kind of a neat.
What area?
Well, Tokyo, she lives in Tokyo. So, I think she was born in Tokyo.
Our family is Mia.
And
Miyakin. We're in Nagoya,
yeah.
a little town of Yokkaichi.
Good to see
Have you
you.
been there?
No, my father continued that,
We just don't
being
know.
away for
Jim, we're gonna
28
make it.
years.
We're gonna make it.
Went
Yeah,
to
I would love to come to Boston, but.
the little hamlet.
I got a sister that 2 years younger. We had very similar sisters.
We're not related.
I was talking to her last night. She said,
The name is
when your last
Old
blood
Town.
transfusion?
You're from the old town.
This is very
Yoichi. So we're
Yeah.
from the old town.
Well, it depends on how I feel, but every
So all
month
the
I
food
get
in
my
Los Angeles.
IDID, which is my.
Many food.
I have
You're
a
looking
system,
for
but I have
LA.
every month.
There's a lot of food each in LA.
No, I don't. They're both lit this month.
Look at the phone. You'll see
If there's anybody from the
I was surprised when I went there. Yeah, and if you Google the name Furuichi, oh my